In today's episode, a bit of behind the scenes on the new Trust Insights 2019 Social Media Influencer Benchmarks Report, which you can get at trustinsights.ai/influencer benchmark. This report is something that originally was actually going to be just initially it's just like a single infographic, but then as started pulling the data together, it's like, wow, this is a little bit more than just a one-page infographic, although certainly you can have the top line results. So some behind the scenes about how we put this thing together. There's a really fantastic service from Facebook. They bought a company a number of years ago called CrowdTangle, which is available for free, but only to academics, researchers, and journalists, and anybody who is grandfathered in from when it was a separate company that was a paid service. And what's amazing about CrowdTangle is that it allows you to gather up lists of accounts, or they provide pre-made lists of essentially influencers, of any public account on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit. And we took the top influencer lists from Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, because those are the sort of the big three that people tend to use a lot these days, and pulled day by day, because there's so many posts, day by day, everything that those influencers were posting. This is about 50,000 influencers on each network, so 150,000 total, although there's a decent amount of overlap, particularly between Twitter and Instagram. There's I forget exactly how much, but it's the majority is an overlap, and extracted out about 4 million posts per network, and put it all together in this massive database. And then from the database, we used the R programming language. Didn't have to do a whole lot of machine learning, really any. I mean, nothing that you would classify as like high-end machine learning, because a lot of what's in a benchmark is statistical in nature. It's not something that requires advanced computation. Looking at things like means and medians and modes and stuff, and basic stats is stuff that R as a programming language does out of the box really brilliantly. So not much in the way of machine learning, but a lot of statistical analysis. So what were some of the things that we found? Let's bring this up here. I mean, I could hold it up, but it's easier to see the graphic. The Instagram top tier audience. So one of the things we did was divide the audience into deciles, which is like a quartile or a quintile, but decile meaning 10. So take every large audience and divide it into 10 pieces, the top 10% to the bottom 10%. And we had to look at what is that top tier, the people that everyone's always looking at, like the mega influencers. How big are those audiences? And one of the things that's funny about social media, marketing in general, but social media in specific, is you have to use medians a lot. Because what happens is, it's sort of like a Pareto principle, 80-20, right? Where there's a few influencers at the very high end who are like ginormously famous. And then there's a whole bunch of people who aren't. And if you use an average, those outliers at the very top end skew everything, and it makes the data unreliable. Like, for example, if 5 people were sitting in a room, 5 normal people were sitting, and Bill Gates was in the room, or Jeff Bezos was in the room, the average salary would be something like $500 million, but only one of the people in that room is a multi-billionaire. And so you have to use the median in a lot of cases for social media data. So I was surprised to find that Instagram's, the median top tier audience for those people in the top 10% is about 5 million people, whereas for Twitter and Facebook, it's about 8 million people. So Instagram, even though it is the influencer platform du jour, still isn't, the people at the top end don't have, as large an audience as they do on those other two networks that are arguably more mature, or older. But Instagram's engagement rate is literally 70 times better than Facebook's, and something like 100 times better than, a little bit less than 100 times better than Twitter's. So if you're looking for where to spend your time getting influencers, if your audience is on Instagram, Instagram is the place. The engagement rates are fantastic. And this is a really important clarification about this report. These are the benchmarks across the audiences. We did not segment down into specific industries or verticals or niches, or even inside your micro audience, because, well, frankly, that's be like a 1,000-page report. No one would read it. But your mileage will vary, right? Unless you are The Rock, right? Or unless you are a Kardashian or Warren Buffett or one of the top tier influencers, you're going to get different results. And one of the interesting things I found in the report was that when we were putting it together, micro influencers, this idea of people who are not like super mega famous but have maybe 1 or 5 or 10,000 followers, actually get much higher engagement rates. There's Dave Cutler calls it the law of diminishing influencer returns. But if you are working on building up your company's following and your audience and your community, emphasis on community, you don't need big numbers to get good engagement rates and to be able to be seen by the algorithms. And for the love of all that's holy and whatever you profess, do not buy followers. Do not buy audiences, because it just damages your engagement rates like crazy. So please don't do that. And if you do that, maybe unfollow those people or something like that. So there's a lot to unpack in this report. How you should use it is you want to use it in 3 ways. You want to use it to calibrate your strategies as to which platform to be on, remembering that your mileage will vary. You want to use this to set expectations. If you're going to be paying money to an influencer, you want to have an idea of where they stand in terms of, because in one of the pages in here, we actually show by tier. So if you're buying somebody who's got, a 500,000 audience members, then their engagement rate for that should be close to 1% on Instagram, right? So if you buy in and you get like 1/10 of 1%, then you know that influencer is not up to scratch. You can also use social media monitoring tools or social intelligence tools to figure out is that person worth buying. So now you can evaluate the influencer before you spend money and say, like, wow, you're really below the benchmark for an audience your size. So why should I pay you, $40,000 if your individual data is so far below the median? And you can use it to benchmark your own efforts, right? If you got a couple thousand followers on Instagram, check out your engagement rates and say, hey, actually, we're not doing so bad. So there's a lot to unpack in the report. It is free. You can get it at trustinsights.ai/influencer benchmark. I hope you enjoy it, find it useful, and can make some good decisions with your influencer marketing with it. So go pick up your copy today, and thanks for watching as always. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter. Take care. Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.